Earn bigger tips, get higher fares, save money on gas. Rent an EV with Hertz and drive with Uber. Through the Hertz rental program, save on discounted rental car rates and enjoy unlimited miles and extend your rental up to 180 days. Vehicle maintenance and damage protection included. Plus, many Hertz EV rentals qualify for Uber Comfort, Uber Green, and Uber Comfort Electric, which riders pay a little bit more for. Ride with Hertz and drive with Uber today. Let's go. Let's look at some of these changes and let's break them down a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. So we did the video, super popular. If you guys missed this, you can watch that as well. There's going to be a breakdown of that. So the pink screen is changing. Okay. The pink screen that was, okay. To me, I called it accidental discharge. Do you know how many times, Chris, I have accepted a trip because I'd be like texting somebody or
and
watching
then all of a
something,
sudden it pops up.
the fucking thing pops up, and then I go click. I go, shit, I accepted a trip I didn't want to accept, right? Okay,
That's
so
the one thing I
gone now.
like about Apple is that it doesn't allow for apps to pop up like that. So you only get the notification on the top. You have to click it in order for the app to actually open.
Yeah. So now there is that blue tab, which is, they called it the Uber Blue. Okay. I'm not joking. That's what it is. And there's an accept button now, unless you push that. And if you guys recall, you know, there was a decline button. Now there are two decline buttons, one within this square and one up top, the usual, you know, up top decline button, right? So you have two chances to decline garbage. And now there is no accidental discharge. Now, to me, I would cancel and move on. It's not that big of a deal. But a lot of audience members probably are going for higher tiers for one reason or another. We're not going to make fun of any of that shit. So if you want to reach platinum or certain levels, you need a certain cancellation rate. You know what I'm saying? And that really messed people up unless you're on auto accept and accepting everything. So I think this is a wonderful change, right? Now you have to hit that accept button. And part of the talk that I can talk about yesterday was, I'm only going to say what I can talk about. I said, we need to extend this ping duration to match your competitor. Okay. You guys, you should all know what it is.
15
You
seconds
should all
would
know
go a
what
lot
it
better.
is. Okay. So we're working on that. But anyway, so that's changed. I think that's a major change as far as accidental discharge. Second thing that's happening with Trip Radar, well, we know, we call it where all, you know, rejects go to die. Now, instead of being forced on you, right? You know, that annoying noise, Chris, right? By the way, this is in cascading order. You know how you swipe on Tinder, up, down, sideways? I don't know what you do with it, but this is the same thing now. Now, when your screen is cascaded like this, that means there is three Trip Radar trips to look at, offers to look at. All you have to do is swipe right, you will get to the next one. Swipe again, you will look at the next one. It's not like it's filling up your whole screen. But the most important thing about Trip Radar is if you click anywhere in the box except the black match tab, it will open up a map immediately, because before on Trip Radar, yes, it would give you the pickup, yes, it would give you the drop off, and it would give you the upfront fare, but it wouldn't give you the map. Now it's going to give you the map, which I think is a huge, huge, huge improvement of what we had before. So that's a good start. So now we continue. Now this is the pickup and drop off. Our one of our top guys, Joe. I love Joe. Joe makes the best goddamn videos, including us. Really, I think he's like the top guy here. So, when Joe had talked about this, I don't know when, Chris, like a few months ago, right? About 4 months ago, maybe. You know, he was like, he made a comparison between Uber and Lyft pink screen, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a couple months ago.
Yeah, that was a request from a lot of viewers. And this was the old one, the one on the left, obviously, right? So all gray, pick up with an up arrow, faint up arrow at best, and drop off with a down arrow. I'm like, that was bullshit. And they listened, and look what they did. Now Uber blue for pickup and black circle for drop off. I mean, this is like night and day to me, right? As far as, because look, I get it. 10 seconds we have, by the way, Uber, it's 10 seconds. Okay. In
Let's
10
bring it to
seconds,
15.
yeah, let's do 15. And in 10 seconds, when you look at this thing, by the time your eyes go to the phone while you're driving, right? You already lost like 2 or 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. Well,
now you don't have to
by
go,
time the
where is
ring,
the Apple?
by
Yeah,
time the ring actually happens,
yeah,
you're half a second in. And by the
yeah,
time you actually notice, like it registers in, and then you have to look, as long as it's safe, yeah, that definitely is about 2 or 3 seconds. That's why it seems like it goes by so quick.
yeah, I
And then
agree.
if you're on the
So
Lyft app and you have to switch over, it's even shorter than that because now you only got like 4 or 5 seconds to actually take it before it's not there. And that means you got to do all those calculations really quick.
yeah, Eden Yardeni, Sergio at the RideShareGuy.com. Why don't you send me your weekly earnings for the last 4 weeks? Let's see what you're talking about. Maybe I can help you, really. Personally coach you, maybe. Maybe we can improve your life. Because I'm not buying it. But anyway, so we go there, and this is, I think, a huge, huge, huge improvement, right? So if you don't like these 3 things, then out of the gate, I think you're behind the 8 ball. But let's go to the next one. This is for couriers mostly. I started doing deliveries last July. I've done about 1,400 of them so far, including on top of my rideshare, because some days I don't feel like talking to people or picking up people, whatever. I just relax for a couple hours, do deliveries at nighttime, dinner time, right? So this is mostly for couriers. This is a huge improvement as well. Okay, on the left screenshot, you guys can see a building there and the blue dot of where the person's pin is, okay? But the drop off is 2 houses ahead. Now, when you guys get close, I think within less than few hundred feet, the map goes into a zoom mode and it gives you all the single buildings numbers. But now here you can see that this guy is, or this person is 2 houses behind, but you're going to drop the food off where the red marker is. Huge improvement, right? On top of that, on the right screenshot, you guys can see that a lot of times when you're doing deliveries, if you're not in the suburbs or, in densely populated areas, parking is a pain, right? Uber is working with a company now that sends Uber data where available parking is. All those blue lines you guys see on both sides of the road is available parking spots. So you can park as close or far. You can be without doing it illegally, right? And the parking tickets are expensive. There goes your day if you get a parking ticket. So that you can walk a little bit and deliver it to this person. I think this is a huge improvement. And in most cases, what they're doing is they're also, if there is a picture that they can draw from, they're going to show you the picture of where you're dropping off. I mean, these are crazy changes. DoorDash doesn't have this. For people who also dabble into deliveries, I love this change. I mean, there is no ifs and buts about this. It eliminates, parking tickets, and it gives you exactly where you need to go, where you need to drop off, and where the consumer's pin is. I mean, nothing wrong with this one either. So this one is a big one. This we've been
Mhm.
talking about how long, Chris? You know what? You're good at this one because I know
Oh
we've been
God,
talking about
we've
this
been
behind
talking
the
about
scenes about
this
this shit.
probably
Right?
before we started the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this right there is probably one of the 3 most complaint things when it comes to drivers and what they want to see when it comes to changes. Um, when it comes to safety, is taking safety and having passengers upload some sort of ID to verify who they are before they get in the car, and that is going to be happening. So now seeing the verified rider check mark knows that they've uploaded an ID. And, that gives you as a driver a little bit more peace of mind knowing if there's any issues that happen within that car, that they're going to be held responsible because their ID is on there. And I think that's a good step in the right direction. Now, when it comes to more safety and what else can be done, there's probably a few things that Uber and Lyft could potentially both do more, but a lot of it, unfortunately, is going to fall on you as the driver and, running through different scenarios, making quick decisions, and whether it's de-escalation, whether it's getting out of the car, whether it's, taking matters in your own hands. There's a lot of different things. And safety is definitely something that needs to be key first and foremost for everybody. So everybody can make sure that they go home. This, I think,
Yeah.
helps when it comes down to a little bit more peace of mind, having a verified rider, because yes, that can right there itself can be a deterrent, because if they have to upload an ID, they might think twice about pulling something stupid then.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is a major change, major walk away from they
Peter,
resist.
when
In
it comes
fact,
to gift cards, they have to, if they don't have an ID available, they have to upload
yeah,
already. That's been
yeah,
something
but
that they've done a year and a half ago, I think.
they're also going to do purging of names as they had promised a year ago, but now it's going to happen. Fake names, Killer and whatever, Diablo or whatever the heck it is, right? And the important thing with this is they're going to continuously do database checks against data companies that these people are actually the people. Now, we talked about what if a lot of people order trips for other people, right? That's being worked on. So patience, people, that's being worked on. Now, I saw a comment, I put it up, I forgot your name, apologies for that. Check out the article that came out actually ironically yesterday morning. Go to Business Insider and go see what I said about that $2 base fare on DoorDash and Uber Eats, and what our contributors Kim and Zach said. I mean, we hammered DoorDash on that, and DoorDash did not even respond to the Business Insider, Chris. They said, nope, we're not going to pick up the
I
phone
saw
on this
that.
one. I'm like, yeah, go kiss my ass, DoorDash. So yeah, Tony Shu, you're next. But anyway, so yeah, we did talk about that. Yes, $2 base pay is working for tips. I mean, there's none. I said this for 7 months now. I started doing deliveries. I can't even buy a pack of gum for $2. What do you want me to do? I mean, DoorDash is stingy, bro. They cut the base pay, Chris, from $2.75 to $2 now. Two single dollars for any delivery for within 3 miles. What the F? You know what I mean? But anyway. So let's continue with the
Drew,
positive.
appreciate
Drew,
the super
thank you.
chat.
Right. This is another that is true. Rideshare drivers have priority over also Uber Eats drivers, and we figured that out because I do rideshare, and a friend of mine, Michael, who we do deliveries together. I would get the ping before he did most of the time. So I am not sure if that's something that we can 100% confirm, but it is what it is. So another thing in the app that's happening. Okay, so we know about trips going longer. Remember, Chris? Yeah, it's significantly longer,
Yeah,
a
and all the
lot
bullshit language they
longer.
talk.
That bullshit language that's in upfront fares, right? Trust me, people, that was discussed for more than 15 minutes yesterday. And I'm going like, but we asked this to David Risher. And in fact, the one on the left, the verified writer, remember when we interviewed David Risher? I asked him, I go, what is your pushback on putting freaking ID checks on riders, right? There you go.
Mhm.
Uber, look, this is to Lyft as well. So hello, people at Lyft, I know. Uber is taking a huge step here. I mean, this is far and above and beyond what you guys are offering, okay? It's time to step up and match these. At least match these, if not do better, because you have done better with Trip Radar. You have done better with Area Filter. So don't worry about copying. These must happen on the Lyft platform as well. ASAP.
Well,
You're going to
appreciate the
lose
super chat. Thanks.
drivers. I'm telling you, you're going to.
You think Lyft will copy
Yeah,
Uber?
I was just talking about
Probably.
it. Do I know? No, I don't know. Do I think? Yes. If I knew, I would tell you. Thank you, Will. So another thing, when upfront, trip goes longer time and distance, they don't respect our time, right? I just talk nonstop about that stuff, and stuff is changing. They're coming with certain changes that's going to be beneficial. And I said, I'm doing trips. I add my trips at the end of the week. I did 30 trips. I just drove for like 3 hours for free between the 7-minute extended wait time now, Chris, and the detours and the traffic jams, right? LA, they closed the 10 freeway. Everybody's taking detours now. I'm going like, hey, I don't want to do this for charity. And there is a formula that we're working on, and you guys will hear it shortly. I think you guys are going to like. But on that front, now within the app, you can notify, faster routes. Obviously, that was in their navigation, but also you can notify other drivers in the area that there is a road closure. This is like a Waze, kind of a thing. Remember how Waze
Mhm.
made Google Maps more interactive. People would be able to talk about, road closures, accidents right away. They became like
Where
the
the cops
Facebook
are.
of, yeah. And of course, Google bought them out. And now in the app, you can click these, boxes and let other drivers in the area know. And an alert will be sent out to the drivers in the area that, hey, watch out for these road closures, because their AI matching system sometimes doesn't factor traffic conditions. Okay. This is, out of everything, this is, I think, the least helpful one to drivers, but I think it's something that we're going to
I think
agree
it's
with. I
least
think
helpful overall, but it's the most helpful in the event that you were taken down a route that has a road closed, or, something like that. Cause then that way, I don't know about you, but I'd be like, mother effer, all like the whole way.
yeah,
Cause
bro.
at that point, then it's like, then you have to turn around, you have to find a different route. So if that can be kind of alleviated, it helps the stress when it comes down to it, because
Yeah,
I just want to pick somebody up and drop them off literally as fast as I can without like
yeah,
breaking in the laws.
yeah.
So that I
No,
think,
I
again, it'll be probably the most overlooked, but when it is like something that will help, will be definitely a helpful thing.
okay, Karen, stay tuned. We're coming up with that. You're how did you know we were talking about that today?
Yep, that's
um
later.
Yeah, that's later. That's coming up. That's another thing that we're going to talk about. Yeah, this is, minor, but I think it's still helpful. So all these app changes and the ID verification, and the bigger one was, which we did another video, which I literally read the CEO's letter, was this. Okay,
Yep.
look,
Well,
we've been
before
talking
before we
about,
start talking about deactivations, the other thing too that they have in there is record your ride. So
yeah,
now you'll be able to record. You basically, you'll be able to turn your phone into a dash camera.
yeah,
That is a positive at one way and a negative in many ways. So look, hey, having the tools like that are good, but this is going to be my recommendation. And if you choose to agree, if you don't agree, that's cool. But I was thinking about this quite a bit when it came to um, the phone. First of all, most forward facing or front facing cameras suck. Even on the newest phones. If you have the i15 or iPhone 15, if you have the S23, they are not good. We are going into winter, so for the northern part of the country and other parts of the world, you only have maybe 8 hours of sunlight a day, and that can usually a shift can exceed that. So you're driving in the dark at times. Your front facing camera is not going to catch that. Not only that, it's not wide angle, so you're not gonna be able to capture what it is. It's going to be facing you, it's not gonna be facing the passengers. So this is not going to be something that can replace a dash camera. They might spin it as that. The other thing that is nice though, it will upload to their servers and put the footage into the cloud. So that is good. It's very close to the display ride dash camera, which is an actual dash camera. So that I would highly suggest still even more. Um, but with in addition to a dash camera that should be used, including something that would have IR for, at night, for being able to be wide angle to pick up passengers, to pick up maybe what's going on the outside of the car, as well as the driver, and then audio. Doing the record my ride with the audio, because when you upload that data, that's a lot of data when it comes to a video footage. When it's audio footage, it's way less, maybe a tenth, maybe an eighth less in size. So if there's something that you're worried about, if you're in an area that doesn't have the best of signal or anything like that, it can really bog down your phone and could potentially make the apps not work as good with the event of the signal with the upload download strength. Audio is going to be much better there. So yeah, couple it with a dash camera with the audio. And when it comes to deactivations, what you're going to be talking about now, Sergio, I think that's going to just help you improve your case, especially
yeah,
in a wrongful case of deactivation where a passenger's just looking for a free ride or to screw you over or something like that. So
yeah.
that's all I wanted to say with that. A couple of
No, no, I agree.
things,
I
but
mean, I agree
best
with you.
practice. I
Yeah,
think an actual dash camera with the record audio only, because it's going to be a lot
yeah,
better when it comes to trying to
yeah,
get that over there, at least to look at something. And it's going to be a lot better footage coming from a dash camera versus a forward facing phone that's usually only going to be trained on you, and not necessarily the rest of the ride, if it can even see you in the middle of the night when you're driving.
I agree 100%. I mean, I think it's not going to be dash cam, obviously. But I mean, look, it's a tool that I think you don't have to use throughout your shift, but we all have been there. When you feel like a trip is going sideways, it's a good tool to have. And any evidence is better than no evidence to me. Okay. And these are good tools, and they're releasing it to 20 more cities. Obviously, every state has different privacy laws as far as one-party consent versus two-party consent states. California being two, obviously you may have some issues if you're recording, but the passenger can record the trip as well as you can record the trip. So the second the record button is pushed, there's a notification sent to your passenger you're recording, and if they do the same, you're going to get a notification while you're driving, actually, that you're being recorded. So any evidence is better than none. But when it comes to the unjust deactivations, they literally use the words we have used before. They said there are some unscrupulous passengers on the platform, and that they want to get a few bucks back from the trip. I mean, I was like, this living guy go like, what did he just say? and I was like, yeah, that's what we've been saying. But besides that, they're going to use their AI that they use on us really well. Because they figured out, by the way, that the liars and the fraudulent passengers are pretty much repeat customers too. They do it once, they're going to keep doing it to get the money out of Uber. So Uber goes, well, we're going to use AI on you now to see if we see a pattern that every other fourth trip you're using this bullshit on the driver, they're going to get booted off the platform as well. And the other thing that is not in this package that they talked about EV charging. There are a lot of people switching to EVs to do rideshare. We can talk about that next show. I will get the screenshots for those. Now, the review process is going to be a lot more stringent doesn't have to be unjust deactivations, on any deactivation. Okay. It's going to be a lot more stringent. You will have 2 review chances to get your case forward. And they will accept now, because before I've heard a lot, Chris, that people will say, well, I have dash cam footage and they didn't even take it. Right. Well, now they will. Okay. This is all what they're saying. Now, again, think about the system, 2.44 billion trips. Okay.
Well,
1.1
let's look at
billion.
6.5 million drivers.
Yeah.
Put that
and
in
1.1
there
million
too.
trips per hour, Chris. 1.1 million trips per hour, every hour, 24/7, 365. Okay. This is it. I was like thinking, how when we talk about their shaving, if they shave a dime out of all these trips, they're making 250 million a quarter, right?
Yep.
They knew about that, by the way. And long story short,
so they said, 10 cents here, 10 cents there.
yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you assholes over there. But I was thinking, if 10, just 10, okay, 10 of those 1.1 million trips in an hour, something happens, and we know it's a lot more than that, right? If some asshole passenger says the driver was drunk, the driver was under the influence, right? That driver is suspended or deactivated immediately, because for safety reasons. I understand it, because the systems go, oh shit, the guy's drunk, we don't want a drunk driver on the road. Boom, you're off until you can prove yourself innocent. And I did, by the way, okay, for all the people here new, please go subscribe to our newsletter. Again, it's free. I did 2 articles about all these changes with screenshots and my take on it. Go, just free. You guys don't like free shit? That's not my problem, but it's free. It's www.rideshareguy.com, therideshareguy.com. So on this one, I think this is a great start. Again, taken with a grain of salt. See, I'm not saying, oh, wonderful, it's awesome. There are still going to be people who fall through the cracks. No doubt about it, as tight as these controls are because of the scale of the situation here. But on all those where you get accused of drunk driving or under the influence, because there are a lot of states, by the way, that cannabis is legal or marijuana is legal now. You know how some guy that just smoked pot gets in your car and your car reeks, and then the next passenger comes in, thinks you smoke pot, and then they go, shit, yep, driver is under the influence, and boom, you're either suspended or deactivated. Well, no more. What they're doing is they have a partnership with LabCorp, and there are LabCorps everywhere, all over the country, that you can go get a blood test and you will probably get your results within half hour or an hour max. Upload that, prove that you're innocent, that you weren't drunk, right? And Uber is going to pay for that. So I think that is a major change. So Lyft, if you're watching this episode, which you should, these are exactly what we talked about with Mr. Vischer when he was on a month ago. I haven't heard anything from you guys. You guys got 5 months for an update. Okay. These are the things that Uber,
they're a
again,
little
taking the
less. They
lead.
got 4 months now.
4
It's
months.
already
Okay. So
November.
Uber
We
taking
had
the
them
lead
on
here, Lyft.
end of September.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are all positive things. But lastly, about these deactivations. Okay. All these things are written into code in some dark corner of an office and wherever these coders are. Okay. And the same thing with the trips. Same thing with rideshare trips. Same thing with Uber Eats. The application of that code to real life situations may or may not fit what they're saying. Okay. So we're going to be watching, we're going to be listening to the community. I'm sure I'm going to get screenshots, even with all these, all these things that they announced. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some people are going to fall through the cracks and get deactivated. However, this is a good start to improve on. If you don't like this, then I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I think it's good. But one of the other things I think that they could train their AI on as well too is, let's say a passenger comes in, says, "Oh, you smell like weed," or you appear to be under the influence," or something like that, and then you get booted off. Well, why don't we instead take a look at how long has the driver been on the platform? Has the driver been on the platform for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours already? Have they been driving for a little while? Has any other reports come in from any other person about their driving? Or better yet, you could even look at their driving habits, because we all know they're tracking the sensors in your phone and all that type of stuff. So if they notice some sort of weird pattern on your driving habits, because for the most part, it's always going to be the same. Clearly, there's always going to be something that happens, like somebody stops short, somebody cuts you off, those types of things that may not be accounted for. But at least they can look up for it and see, oh, is this something random, or is this, a little bit more active today, or something like that. And then that way it could prove your innocence right there. Because one, if you're driving all the time, let's say quite a few hours, chances are, first off, you're not going to be under the influence and at anything at that point. And then that way it won't even have to get to the point where you get kicked off. Maybe they give you a note that says, oh, this person said something, or a rider reported, but because of your driving or how long you've been on the platform today, and our AI sensors detected no change in your normal driving pattern, we just wanted to alert you, let you know, and have a good rest of your day. Be safe out there,
Well,
without actually having to take you off. Not only that, the second thing too is you won't have to go to lab court, and they won't actually have to spend the money because you won't have to go there in the first place.
yep. Well, the other thing is, there were two good questions here. One was LabCorp is not open at 2 a.m. Great question. At the
Fire
first
the
chance
machine.
you get,
Appreciate the super chat.
thank you. At the first chance you get, you got to go get test done. And even if you're positive, Uber's still going to pay for it, regardless of the result. Like if you're really drunk, or or under the influence of cannabis or whatever. Look, some people smoke and drive. I don't know. Shit, I wouldn't do it. But either way, okay, either way, Uber's going to pay for that. Number one. Number two, they are also going to pay very close attention to veteran drivers who are getting booted off with 5, 6, 7 years of seniority and thousands of trips. That's going to play heavily on this deactivation process. They're going to consider, how long someone has been on the platform with no prior issues, and they don't want to get rid of these, veteran drivers. Unlike a lot of people think, oh, they're just getting rid of veterans. No, that's not going to happen. So there's going to get some, importance. They're going to give some importance to that. There is not, the other question is about the LabCorp not being open. Uber, I know you're watching, so I need an answer for that by next week, please. The other one was, is this going to, that was a great question, which I did not ask yesterday. Is this going forward from this point on, from the announcement, or if there were unjustly deactivated people, can they use this new review process? That's another good question. So two questions, Uber. You need to answer those questions because I don't know the answers to those. But they're good questions.
Hold on,
and we'll get
before there
answers.
was this super chat, they said leaving about customers leaving rating below a 5 without an explanation.
Yes, you
Pretty
have
sure they don't.
rating protection.
Yeah, there's rating protection that's actually getting expanded beyond it. So unfortunately, people rate low. If the
For
system
any
does
reason.
pick it up,
Yeah.
allegedly, they've repeated it throughout that whole little spiel from yesterday, that they've been doing it since 2019. A lot of people might disagree or not think that because they see all these weird ratings on their system or on their apps. So I mean, you can take it for what it's worth, but they claim that they're doing that and they're going to actually increase the amount of ratings that will not affect you negatively. Not only that, honestly, if you're driving good, you're getting people there to and from safely. Don't worry about less than a 5-star. You don't need to strive for 5. I mean, if you want to, you can, but you don't really have to. It's not going to have any negative impact on you. If you start seeing a lot of negative ratings, then there might be something going on that you have to look at. Maybe you need a break or something like that, and then come back once you kind of get rejuvenated. But that's more like an internal search at what's going on, figure out when
Yeah.
it comes to a bunch
Couple
of
other things,
ratings going down.
Okay, Uber, I know you're watching this. There are great questions here, so please rewatch this shit, please, because I don't know the answers to these. The one thing that how much does a test cost depends on where you're getting done at LabCorp. Probably, I don't know. I mean, they're paying for it, but you don't have to wait for LabCorp. I think another. So what Chris said, as far as look at through your AI, how many trips this guy did. If the guy did already 14 trips and he didn't get that day one, complained about being drunk or under the influence, and the next idiot, is trying to get the money back, complains, well, that should be like a good track record for the day, right? Because other people would have complained. Yep. So Uber, that's a great idea. Okay. Second one, how about people just go get tested right away out of their pocket and you reimburse them like a cleaning fee or some shit, right? Why do we have to be stuck with LabCorp? That's another idea, Uber. So there you go. Look, this is a start. I think it's a good start. We'll keep talking, we'll keep improving, and all these questions are coming from you guys, and they're directly going to where they need to go. So to me, this is it. This is the way we need to work together and figure all this stuff out. But I think these were all good changes, and I met some wonderful people. And again, right, like them or hate him. And for all the people who say I'm not making money, Sergio at RideShareGuy.com, please send me your last 4 weeks earnings on Uber and Lyft. Let's see if we can do something about it, meaning improve you. Maybe you're doing shit wrong. I don't know. Maybe you have no strategy. Maybe you're stuck on one app. Maybe your shift hours are wrong. I don't know, but send me the screenshots. We'll take a look at it.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.